How are you all? Hope you all are doing fine at home along with your studies and other activities. So before starting with the class, let's have a look at the thought for the day, and it says, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Yes, we come across many people who talk. I want to do this, I want to do that, I will be doing this and that and that. But when, if you want to do anything, you need to start. Rather than just planning and planning and planning, if there is no action, that planning is of no use. And that's the reason why it is said that the way to get started, if you really want to start with something, the first thing you need to do is to stop talking about it and start doing it. And that's how the thought for the day goes. I hope we all stop talking and start doing our work. So don't wait for completing your work and keep saying that I'll complete my work. Stop saying that and start doing it. Complete your work much faster. Believe me. In today's class, we'll be continuing with our 4th chapter from the snapshot book, and the name of the chapter is Albert Einstein at School. So in our previous class, we had seen how Albert is so much disturbed. He doesn't like this place called school where he's going. So he just wants to be away from it. And he's trying to get on a way which would be convincing for his father also, that yes, Albert needs to stop going to school. And how Yuri had found a neuro doctor for him. Right? And this doctor is a newly graduated doctor. And Albert might be his very first patient. So when on the day of appointment, when Albert goes to this doctor, right, he is talking to the doctor and he learns that Yuri had already told the truth to the doctor. And doctor knows what Albert wants. But Albert is a bit embarrassed. He is embarrassed. He feels that Yuri should not have told the doctor the truth. But then the doctor says, is it something wrong? You wanted this. So what is wrong in that if I know what is the truth? So let's continue in today's class from page 29. Yes, that's the trouble. Now you will say there's nothing wrong with me and you will tell me to go back to school. So why Albert is more troubled? He feels embarrassed, thinking that the doctor might be thinking about him. But the second reason that he gives to the doctor is that yes, because Yuri had told you the truth and no doctor would give me a false certificate. And I know what you are going to tell me. You are also going to tell me that you are perfectly fine. You are perfectly fine and you don't need any certificate. So from tomorrow you need to go back to school. Don't be too sure of that, said the doctor. As a matter of fact, I am pretty sure that you are in a nervous state about that school. So the doctor says, don't come to the conclusion so quickly. Right? Don't come to the conclusion, but on the other hand, in contrary, I see that you really are very nervous when it comes to the same point that you need to go to school. But I haven't told you anything about it, said Albert. Why? How can you know that? So Albert is again surprised to hear from the doctor what he was thinking. And then he says, in that surprise, he says, I never told you all this thing. Because you wouldn't have come to see was there for 6 months. So that is what the doctor says, that all these months you never thought of going to a doctor. But now that you have thought of coming to a doctor, that really shows, that really tells me that yes, you really need a doctor, because you may have a nervous breakdown if you continue to go to school. And then he says, now, said the doctor briskly, if I certify that you have had a nervous breakdown and must stay away from school for a while, what will you do? So now the doctor asks, if I give you a certificate stating that you are suffering from nervous breakdown and you have to stay away from the school, after that what are your plans? What are you going to do after that? I'll go to Italy, said Albert, to Milan where my parents are. And what will you do there? I'll try to get into an Italian college or institute. So, after plans are all ready with Albert, he knows what he is supposed to do once he is free from the school. He is going to go to Italy, to Milan, near his parents, and there he is going to take admission in any college or institute. How can you without a diploma? So the doctor asked, how can you get admission in a college without getting a diploma from school? I'll ask my mathematics teacher to give me something about my work, and perhaps that will be enough. I've learned all the math they teach at school and a bit more, he had added when Dr. Bay looked down. So he says, I would ask my mathematics teacher to give me a letter of recommendation. Right? The teacher would recommend that yes, Albert had studied all the math that was needed in the school and he knows something more than that also. And that letter would be enough for me to get into a college or institute where they are dealing with further studies in math. Well, it's up to you, he said. I doubt if it will come off, but I can see you are not doing yourself or anyone else much good by staying here. So the doctor is really not But then he says, I can see that your presence in the school is not doing any good to neither to the people in the school nor to you yourself. So how long would you like me to say you should stay away from school? Would 6 months be alright? So the doctor says, how long do you want to be away from this place? And then he says 6 months would be okay. And Albert is more than happy. He says, this is very kind of you. It's nothing. I have only just stopped being a student myself. So I know how you feel. Here you are. Dr. B handed him the certificate and the best of luck. So when Albert tries to thank doctor, the doctor says, don't do that. I can understand. I can understand your situation as a student. Why? Because I have also been a student and very recently I have stopped being a student. That means I have completed my studies and now I am a doctor. So he writes the certificates and gives it to Albert and wishes him best of luck. How much? Now Albert is asking about how much money he should be paid. Nothing. If you have anything to spare, invite Yuri to a meal. He's a good friend of mine and yours too, I think. So the doctor does not take any fees from him, any charges from him, but he says, if you really have that extra amount which you feel you could have paid me or any doctor, what you can do, you can give a treat to Yuri because he's a very good friend of mine and maybe he's a very good friend of yours also. because he has helped you. Albert had no money to spare, but he pretended he had and took Yuri out to sup. So, Albert also was not from such a well-to-do family, right? So, he also had limited amount of money. But he really took Yuri out for dinner, supper, dinner. Isn't it wonderful? He said after showing Yuri the certificate. Now during this time when they are all out for dinner, Albert is all excited, is very happy. Happy because he has received that certificate which he very badly wanted. And then he is showing that certificate to Yuri and he says, see, I've got it. Isn't it so excited that now I'm not going to go to school. I have all the reasons for not going to school. Yes, it's fine. Yuri agreed. 6 months is a good period. This way, you won't actually be leaving the school. So if the worst comes to the worst, you'll be able to come back and carry on for your diploma. And then Yuri says, yes, that's very good. And 6 months, he says, is a good big time. Right? And in this 6 months, you'll be able to decide. You'll be able to find out that if you are not able to do something which you have already thought, which you intend to do, if you are not able to achieve that, you have all the way possibility to come back to the school and complete your diploma. To which Albert says, I'll never go back to that place. Albert assured him, I am going to take the certificate to the head teacher tomorrow, and that will be the end of it. So it seems that Albert had already made up his mind that the 6 months is going from the school, but he will never come back to the school. And that's the reason why he says that never I'll come back to this place. Tomorrow, just I have to go to the school. Why? To hand over this letter to the teacher, the headmaster. And once I do that, after that I'm never turning back even to have a look at that place called school. And that's all. Going to finish. All my relations with the school, with that place are going to end up tomorrow. Don't forget to get a reference in writing from your mathematics teacher first. Yuri reminded. So, Yuri said, remember one thing, in excitement, don't forget to take a recommendation from your mathematics teacher before handing over the certificate to your headmaster. Otherwise, if you submit this first, and maybe then the teacher will not give you the certificate, the recommendation letter. Mr. Koch willingly gave Albert the reference he wanted. So this is the mathematics teacher. Because he was very sharp, Albert was very sharp, Albert was very good at mathematics. So the mathematics teacher did not have any problem in giving the letter of recommendation to him. Very happily, very willingly he gave him the letter. If I say I can't teach you anymore, and probably you will soon be able to teach me, will that be alright? He said. Now see the teacher. He says, if I write this, that I cannot teach you anything more, but rather as a matter of fact, it will also not be wrong if I write that in some ways you will be able to teach me. That means you will know things more than me. Should I write that? He says. That's saying too much, sir, said Albert. And Albert is really like, he's also very simple and he says, sir, that would be too much. Please kindly do not write that. Only write a letter of recommendation which will say that I am good at mathematics, I have studied all these things. Don't write any extra things. It's only the truth, but alright, I'll put it more serious. So the teacher says that true. That whatever I knew, I've already taught you, I've told you everything, I've taught you everything. And very soon, I am very sure, I'm confident that you will learn few things which I don't know. And you will be in a position to teach me, and this is a fact. This is truth. But anyways, I will write a letter which would look serious, which would be more appealing. It was still a glowing reference, and Mr. Koch made the point that Albert was ready immediately to enter a college or institute for the study of higher mathematics. So, now Albert was a very good mathematics student. The teacher was very happy, so he wrote very good recommendation letter for him. And he did not forget to mention a point that Albert at this present time is capable of entering into any institution or a college which would offer him higher studies for mathematics. I am sorry you are leaving us, although you are wasting your time in my class, he said. And the teacher is emotional because a good student is leaving the school. So he is emotional and he says, I will miss you. But I know that at the same time I know that sitting in my class was not beneficial for you anymore. It's almost the only class where I am not wasting my time, said Albert. But how did you know I am leaving, sir? So, Albert says that it's only mathematics class where I feel I am not wasting my time. Remaining all the classes that he means to say is a waste of time. But in mathematics class, he says it's not the place where I am wasting. But then he asks, how do you know that I am going to leave the school? You wouldn't have asked me for this reference otherwise. I thought you would wonder. Yes, I know you are leaving because that's the reason why you are asking for this letter of recommendation. If you are staying in the school, what help would this letter be to you? There's nothing to wonder about, Einstein. I knew you were going to leave before you knew yourself. So the teacher says that don't think, don't wonder, don't be surprised how I know this. I knew this before even you came to know that you want to leave this place. Because I could understand you, I could understand that this place is not properly entertaining you, properly giving to satisfying your needs, which you want. Right? We are not able to cater to all your needs. Albert was puzzled. What did the teacher mean? He soon found out. Before he had a chance to ask for an interview with the head teacher, he was summoned to the head's room. So Albert was puzzled. Puzzled why? What is this teacher talking about? He could not understand. And before he could think of anything, before he could come to a point, understand what the teacher meant, there was a call for him from the headmaster's office. Well, it saves me the trouble of having to wait an hour or two outside, he thought. So, as he got a call from headmaster's office, he was more happy. Why? Because now since he knew that he had been called, he will not have to wait for a long time outside the office for the headmaster to call him. This happened because principals, headmisters and all these people, they are very busy. So it is sometimes very difficult to reach on to them on a particular time. So when we are there, we have to wait for them. But if they call us, then immediately we go and we are allowed inside their office. So that is what relaxes him more. He is more happy after this. He hardly bothered to wonder why he had been sent for, but vaguely supposed he was to be punished again for bad work and laziness. Well, he had finished with punishments. So, he could not think why the headmaster had called. Why? Because he already knew. Maybe he was called for scolding or for punishment, for being lazy in the class, for not doing his work in time. all these things. But then he says, now that's an end to the punishment. Because today I can hand over this letter of certificate from the doctor, and then no punishment is going to harm me, or I'll not be bothered about all these punishments after this. I'm not going to punish you, the head teacher said to Albert's surprise. Your work is terrible and I am not prepared to have you here any longer. Einstein, I want you to leave the school now. Now, imagine what would have been the condition of Einstein in the office when the principal says that I am not calling here for punishing you, but in fact the thing is we are tired of you and I want you to leave the school. You are no more wanted in the school from tomorrow. You need not come to school. Leave school now, repeated Albert, dazed. So Albert is also not able to believe his ears and he is asking, what did you say? I need to leave the school now? I am not needed in the school. And he is surprised and he is puzzled. That is what I said. And the principal says, yes, exactly what you hear I am saying. That you have to leave the school now. We don't want you in the school right now. So that's all for today's class. In tomorrow's class, we'll see what was a step ahead taken by Albert when the principal told him to leave the school. Until we meet next, keep learning, keep experiencing, be safe. Bye-bye.